took us a long time to get there. Don't get me wrong. It was not an easy journey, but once we got there, and I think we felt comfortable being honest with each other
Mm-hmm.
and just sharing what was going on in our lives and our personal lives to a certain extent, because I think a lot of it is none of it's none of our business. It's none of my business what he does. Same with him, and I think we both respect that. But if we get in relationships that we're going to go to that next level, we definitely will let each other know, and support it in the best way we can.
Trust is a precious thing, hard to earn and even harder to repair. And for Shaunie O'Neal, that trust was just shattered in the most shocking way. The former Basketball Wives star recently found herself at the center of drama when she allegedly caught her husband, Pastor Keion Henderson, red-handed. Now, if you're wondering how this went down, here's what we know. Sources close to the couple claim Shaunie walked in on something that shook the foundation of their relationship. The details are still emerging, but this bombshell has left fans and followers stunned. From their picture-perfect social media posts to public declarations of love, Shaunie and Keion seem rock solid. But as we all know, appearances aren't always the full story. So what led up to this shocking moment, and where do they go from here? Let's break it all down.
I see a lot of people who just have no plans of getting married, and maybe it's the place that they're in life at that particular time. Like I've been there. We've both been there. We were like, absolutely not getting married. But life keeps lifing. And you change your mind. You meet Mr. Right or Mrs. Right, whatever it is. Things happen that change the directive of life all the time.
Shaunie O'Neal and Pastor Keion Henderson shared everything from fancy vacations to sweet moments on social media, showing off their love, faith, and success. Together, they seemed like a modern couple who could juggle their public lives, family duties, and personal faith. Fans loved their flawless relationship and often looked up to them as relationship goals. But, as the saying goes, not everything that glitters is gold. Behind the smiles and glitzy appearances, there were whispers about some tension in their relationship. People talked about their busy schedules, disagreements over family stuff, and how Keion demanding ministry roles might be taking a toll. While most of this was brushed off as gossip, it hinted at some issues that outsiders might not have noticed. One big challenge was Shaunie, already busy with her kids from her previous marriage, found it tough to keep everything balanced. Keion's ministry work also meant he was often away from home. Still, no one could have predicted what was about to happen. Then came the shocking moment that turned everything upside down. Reports say Shaunie caught Pastor Keion and her secretary in a compromising situation during what looked like a date. Eyewitnesses claim Shaunie was completely blindsided and confronted them right then and there. For someone who had always celebrated love and loyalty publicly, this was a huge blow. Now, Shaunie was not only dealing with personal heartbreak, but also the public fallout. Her fans were left in shock. Social media exploded with disbelief and speculation about what this meant for the couple. This wasn't just a little misunderstanding, it was a game changer. Shaunie felt totally blindsided, especially after how openly they had celebrated their marriage. The betrayal hit even harder given Keion's role as a spiritual leader, someone people looked up to for guidance on love and relationships.
Exact marriage as a transactional tool to advance their career or to advance their goal.
Or their finances.
Because the problem is if you marry me to extend your reach, then where do I fit after you reach what you were going after?
Shaunie O'Neal had a pretty intense reaction at the restaurant, and it was very emotional. People who were there said she confronted Keion and the secretary with a mix of shock, hurt, and anger. For someone as put together as Shaunie, this was a side of her that many hadn't seen before. But honestly, when you get betrayed, it's hard to keep it all together. Standing there in public, Shaunie didn't hold back at all. Sources say her voice was shaking with a mix of rage and heartbreak as she demanded answers. The vibe in the restaurant was super tense, with everyone just staring in shock as the drama unfolded. Keion tried to explain himself, but Shaunie wasn't having any of it. It was just too painful to see the guy she trusted sitting across from someone who was supposed to be loyal to her. And it wasn't just about Keion. It hit even closer to home for Shaunie. Finding out that the secretary was involved felt like pouring salt in an open wound. This was someone in Shaunie's inner circle, someone she probably confided in and trusted. Realizing that this person was at the center of such a betrayal was just too much. It wasn't just about romance. It was a total betrayal of loyalty and trust. What made it even worse was that it seemed like this wasn't just a one-time thing. Sources say it had been going on for a while, and the secretary's closeness to both Shaunie and Keion made it easy to hide. The thought that someone Shaunie saw almost every day could be so deceitful was mind-blowing. It wasn't just betrayal, it felt like a full-on conspiracy from someone she trusted. Once word got out about the confrontation, the media went wild. Social media exploded with opinions. Fans who once admired the couple were shocked and disappointed. Many couldn't believe that Keion, who always talked about love and trust, could be at the center of such a mess. A person commented saying, "I can't believe this. Keion preached about loyalty and trust, but it turns out he couldn't even practice what he preached." Another one added, "Keion really played the perfect husband act for social media, but the truth always comes out." Shaunie, on the other hand, got a ton of support. Her followers rallied around her, praising her for facing the situation head on. Most people were totally on her side, seeing her as a symbol of strength who had been through tough times before and always came out stronger. Keion tried to downplay everything, releasing a statement saying it was all blown out of proportion and urging people not to believe everything they heard. But honestly, the damage was done. Despite his efforts, public disbelief just kept growing. People were quick to point out the huge difference between his public image as a man of God and the scandal surrounding him. It was clear this situation hit hard and folks weren't going to forget it anytime soon. And trust me, the drama didn't stop there. It was just getting started.
I was that person. Like, I got married in my previous relationship thinking that it was going to fix things and that, he's going to change this because we got married, or he's going to act differently because we got married. That is not true. It's not realistic. And it's not my job to fix those things about the person that I'm married to.
Shaunie had a rough time dealing with the betrayal. It's not every day that someone you trust, especially a partner and close friend, breaks that bond so publicly. For her, it wasn't just about losing someone. It was about questioning her own judgment. The emotional weight on Shaunie was heavy. Friends say she felt crushed by betrayal, shame, and sadness. Having someone like Keion, who played such a big role in her life, hurt her in such a public way was devastating. Plus, she had to deal with the feeling of questioning why she trusted him and the secretary so much. This wasn't just a small issue. It was a huge personal blow that affected not only her relationship, but also how she saw herself. And dealing with it all in the public eye made it even tougher. She had always been admired for her strength, but this moment really shook that up. On the flip side, Keion was left to defend himself, and the public reaction was quick. His attempts to explain himself only seemed to make things worse for him. He expressed regret in his statements, but a lot of people weren't buying it. He called it a misunderstanding that got blown out of proportion, but with evidence like him being spotted with a secretary at a restaurant, those claims felt pretty weak. Keion's defense didn't sit well with his fans either. The public's opinion was shifting fast. This scandal not only messed up his personal life, but also hurt his credibility as a pastor, where trust is everything. Was this just a mistake, or was there more to it? That's what a lot of people started wondering. But it wasn't just about Keion. The secretary also found herself in the spotlight. What was her role in all this? Was she just caught up in the situation, or did she have her own agenda? Some sources suggested she was manipulating things from the start, using her position to her advantage. Others thought she might have been charmed by Keion and didn't realize the mess her actions would create. No matter what the truth was, one thing was clear: Shaunie's life was turned upside down. The person she trusted the most, someone she thought was her partner, had betrayed her in a way no one expected.
And he's like, "You gotta have Shaunie on the show. You guys were just..." Yeah, he was great. He was such a champion of yours. And then at some point he said, something about him one day getting married again. And I thought, you're not, he's been very supportive of your dating journey. You've been supportive of his. Was there a conversation about that? And he even said, what is it? He would attend your wedding or you would attend his if that ever happened?
Yeah, I think we both support each other. Like, I used to tease him and be like, could you please hurry up and get a wife? And then you could stop, randomly FaceTiming me and talking about your day. Like, I'm not like, get a girlfriend or something. I don't know.
So Shaunie's at a bit of a crossroads right now. Everyone's wondering, is she going to forgive Keion or is she done for good? After everything that's gone down, can she really find it in her heart to move on with him, or is this betrayal just too much to handle? Keion's actions have definitely left a mark on their relationship, and while she might be able to forgive him, rebuilding that trust could take ages, if it's even possible. Shaunie's always been graceful and composed, but this situation is on a whole new level of hurt. Will she give him another shot, or is this the breaking point for their marriage? That's a decision only Shaunie can make. But one thing's for sure, the road ahead is going to be tough. She's faced challenges before, but this betrayal feels different. The whole world knows about it, especially with her close secretary involved. Everything's out in the open. With so much on the line, what's Shaunie going to do next? And what about her career? Can she bounce back from this mess? Shaunie's been a role model for so many, and her business ventures and TV gigs have made her a household name. But this scandal could really put a dent in everything she's worked for. She's going to have to dig deep to keep her professional image intact, especially with all the eyes on her. Will she keep being a successful mogul, or will this situation impact her career in ways we can't even imagine? Shaunie's proven time and again that she can overcome challenges. This isn't her first rodeo with personal struggles, and she usually comes out stronger. From her time as a reality TV star to dealing with ups and downs in her life, her resilience is something fans really admire. This betrayal might be one of the toughest things she's faced, but we've seen her tackle hard situations before and come out on top. This could be her biggest test yet, but Shaunie O'Neal isn't one to back down. She's faced tough times head-on before, and it's likely she'll do the same now. What her next steps will be is still a mystery, but she's always had the strength to move forward, whether it's fixing her personal life or continuing to shine in her career. With secrets still coming to light and emotions running high, this story is far from over. What do you guys think Shaunie should do next? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for all the updates.